Now we will start with classification of proteins. Proteins are classified in several ways. Three major types of classifying proteins based on their function, chemical nature and solubility and nutritional importance are discussed in this presentation. First, we will start with the classification of protein based on chemical nature and solubility. This is more comprehensive and popular classification of protein, and it is based on the amino acid composition, structure, shape and solubility properties of proteins. Here proteins are broadly classified into three major groups. First is simple protein, conjugated protein and derived protein. Now simple proteins, these are composed of only amino acids. Simple proteins are composed of only amino acids, while conjugated proteins, they contain along with amino acid, these protein contain some non-proteins part which are known as prosthetic group or conjugated group, while derived proteins are the denatured or degraded product of simple and conjugated protein. These three classes, simple, conjugated and derived, these are further subdivided into different groups. Like simple protein, it is of two types based on their shapes. One is globular protein and scaloprotein. As per the name, globular proteins, these are the spherical or oval in shape, soluble in water or other solvents. Globular proteins, these are digestible proteins. Some example of globular proteins are albumins, which are present in egg, milk. Globulins, these are present in again egg yolk. Glutenin, it is present in wheat, rice. Prolamines, again these are present in wheat, maize, rice. Histones, these are present in codfish or fish oil. Globins, these are again a type of histones, while protamines, these are associated with nucleic acid and these are associated with some serum proteins. So all these proteins, these are the globular proteins which are oval in shape or spherical in shape and which are soluble in water and digestible. While scaloproteins, these are also called as fibrous protein. These are fiber like in shape, insoluble in water and these are not digestible. The three main examples of a scaloprotein or fibrous proteins are collagen. Collagen, it is mainly present in connective tissues in our body, muscles, while and these are non-elastic collagens, while elastins, these proteins are found in elastic tissues such as arteries, tendons or tendons means which help to join muscles with bones, and these are elastic in nature. While keratins, as all of you know, these are present in exoskeletal structure like in hair, nails, horns. These keratins, and these are water insoluble and these are not digestible, their structure is like fiber. So these are the two types of simple proteins which are made up of only amino acids. While conjugated proteins, these contain a long chain of amino acids along with some non-protein part which is also called as prosthetic group, and based on the nature of prosthetic group, conjugated proteins, these are of mainly 6 types. First is nucleoprotein. As per its name, nucleic acids, these are the prosthetic group present here, like DNA, RNA, these are present in along with the amino acids. Example is nucleohistones and nucleoprotamines. While glycoproteins, which are also called as mucoproteins, the prosthetic group is carbohydrate. Example is mucin, which is present in saliva, and egg white, these are also present in egg white. Lipoprotein, as per name, its prosthetic group is lipids, and these are mostly present in the cell membrane. Membrane lipoprotein are the example of this class. Phosphoprotein, phosphoric acid is the prosthetic group. Casein in milk and vitelline in egg yolk are the example of phosphoprotein. While in chromoproteins, the prosthetic group is colored in nature. Chroma means color, colored in nature. Example, hemoglobin and cytochromes. While the next is metalloprotein. These protein contain metal ions such as iron, cobalt, zinc, copper, magnesium, etc. Example is ceruloplasmin, in which copper is present, while carbonic anhydrase, in which zinc is present, zinc metal is present as a prosthetic group. The third type of the protein, it is the derived protein. The derived proteins, these are of 2 types, primary derived proteins and secondary derived proteins. Primary derived are denatured or coagulated or first hydrolyzed product of proteins, while secondary derived proteins are degraded due to breakdown of polypeptide bonds. So, there are 3 types of primary derived protein: coagulated protein, proteons and metaprotein, while secondary derived proteins are proteases, peptones, polypeptides and peptides. Primary derived are formed because of hydrolysis, while secondary, these are formed due to the breakdown of peptide bonds. So, this is the classification based on the chemical nature, solubility and structure of protein, while the next classification of protein, it is based on the function of the proteins, and based on function they perform. Proteins are classified into these type of, especially these 8 types. First is based on function. First is structural protein. I will just select a highlighter. This is structural protein. Example of structural protein: keratin, collagen of bone. They provide the structure or support to the body, structural protein. Enzyme protein or catalytic protein: hexokinase, pepsin, that acts as a catalyst in various biochemical reaction. Hormonal protein: insulin and growth hormones. These protein acts as a hormone, they function as a hormone. Receptor proteins, which take some actions or they get some receptions. For example, some hormones and viruses are receptor proteins. Transport protein like hemoglobin, it transport oxygen through the blood from one part of the body to other, so it is a transport protein. Serum albumin is also a transport protein. Contract protein, these proteins are elastic in nature and they help for the contraction and relaxation of the muscles, like actin, myosin. These proteins are present in our eyelids. so that we can open and close our eyelids. Storage protein, this protein they store some food which we eat, like ovalbumin which is present in egg, and glutenin, it is present in wheat. So these are called as storage protein. The last type of protein based on their function is defense protein. If some foreign body enter in our body, so these protein fight with those foreign bodies and protect our body. For example, snake venom. Snake venom, snake use this protein as a for a defense mechanism. Immunoglobulin, these proteins are present in our body which increases our immunity. So based on function, proteins are classified into these types. The third type of classification of protein is nutritional classification of protein. Depending upon the nutritive values, proteins are classified into three types: complete protein, partially incomplete protein, and incomplete protein. The proteins which have all 10 essential amino acids which are required for human body for the proper growth, those are called as complete protein. Example is egg albumin, milk, these milk casein, these are the complete protein which contain all 10 amino acids required for the human body. While partially incomplete proteins which contain these proteins are partially lacking one or more essential amino acids, for example wheat, rice proteins. And incomplete protein, these proteins completely lack one or more essential amino acids, and hence they do not promote growth at all. For example, gelatin, it is not a complete protein, and zen. So this is the classification of protein based on the nutritional values. Now the last part of this chapter is biological function of protein. Just now we saw protein, based on their function they are classified in 8 ways. So they perform, because they perform various function, but still we will discuss protein. It help for the proper growth as well as development and everyday functioning of the body. Some more examples on some more function of proteins are enzymes. Enzymes are protein that facilitate biochemical reactions. For example, pepsin is a digestive enzyme in our stomach that helps to break down protein in food. So enzymes are catalysts present in our body and they perform various biological functions. Antibodies. Antibodies are also proteins produced by the immune system to help remove foreign substances and fight infections. DNA associated proteins, they regulate chromosome structure during cell division and play role in regulating gene expression. For example, histones and cohesion proteins. Contractile proteins are involved in muscle contraction and movement. For example, actin, myosin. Structural proteins provide support in our bodies. For example, the protein in our connective tissues such as collagen and elastin. Hormone proteins coordinate body functions. For example, insulin control our blood sugar concentration by regulating the uptake of glucose into the cell. Transport proteins move molecules around our bodies. For example, hemoglobin transports oxygen through the blood. This complete video for protein I have made by using these references. Thank you so much.